learning some aircraft stuff. Going with the truck Norris camshaft. All the stuff that nobody likes about the LT engines is going to be removed and blocked out. Good morning, happy Tuesday the 18th. Just heading in. We have a second interview with a potential service writer this morning. Mark has had the first meeting with her already. So today we'll have the second, show her around the shops, and then we'll sit down and discuss the potential of having a position with Stones. And then later on this afternoon, heading to the farm to pick up a trailer with one of the vehicles for the Vancouver Auto Show. So that's what we're up to now. So I'm gonna head in to do that, and then after this meeting at 10 o'clock, then I will do a walkthrough of the shops, see where everything's at, and carry on with the day. All right, just in the automotive shop, quick update of what's going on here. Camshaft swap. What do they consider? So Gen 5, this truck? Yeah. So Gen 5, 5.3 liter, had a lifter starting to go, I believe. It started to tick, didn't it?
So we had some problems with the phaser.
Yeah.
They installed the bully dog.
Yeah.
So we're locking the phaser, putting a different camshaft in.
Yeah.
So it all started with that phaser. And
oh, okay, it was the phaser.
Well
yeah.
Have some fun with it, right?
Yeah, so he's going with the truck Norris camshaft from Brian Tooley. So we've got the whole kit here. It comes with everything you need except the high pressure fuel lines that you're supposed to change anytime you remove them. But yeah, it's got it all. So we got cam, lifters, trays, and this is also deleting the cylinder deactivation as well, right?
Yeah. Getting rid of the phaser and cylinder deactivation for this.
Basically, all the stuff that nobody likes about the, I guess, LT engines is going to be removed and blocked out. So phasers will be blocked out, and the deactivation will be deleted. So, and then it'll get that choppy sound. Yeah, he doesn't use this as like a work or tow vehicle. It's more of just a daily driver. So he doesn't have to worry that he's going to probably not really have a tow vehicle anymore, and potentially might need a torque converter. We'll see how choppy the cam is and whether he needs a bit of a stall, but we'll see when the time comes. We haven't done one of this exact cam yet, so we'll see. So that's that for that. Just pulling out, but we have a Fontaine landscaping truck in, F350, with a oil leak. I think it was parts about 3 days away. I can't remember what part was, but so yeah, anyway, it's just getting pulled outside. Just missed getting that on video in here, but that's fine. Not much of an update on the Challenger. The customer is going to come down and take a look at what we need to do to the floor so he can wrap his head around what needs to be done. So we're just dropping the transmission back in so he can see the lack of space, and then we'll go from there. And then over here we have the Camaro convertible. Differentials out of it. What was happening with the diff? Making noise or?
Making noise on coast and decel. When I got the cover off with the pry bars up there, you can see the whole carrier walking back.
Oh, wow.
Thankfully we caught it in time. It looks like it's just a shims and setup issue from previous.
Yeah, I was going to say, because from factory they have like the cast shims and it shouldn't have any ability to move without bad bearings.
Correct.
Yeah.
We're not the first shop to touch this.
Yeah, it's been around and it was in storage for a long time, so who knows what was done. Kind of like the DIY exhaust system here that's going to fall out. Looks like it's going to fall out. Cool, so that's that. So some differential work. It's running good now, so that's a good thing, but now that we're driving it, of course, things are creeping up. So C10 is going well. Ashley is making her debut in tie wire. The 14-inch brakes, of course, you need to tie wire all the bolts from the hat to the rotor. So she's learning some aircraft stuff today and yesterday. So park brakes are going in. Those are some small drum brakes on there.
Right.
It's getting all new spindles coming together. All right, we have this fresh built Corvette in here. Some AC concerns. It's got a bit of a hybrid between original AC and having electric fans. So a bit of a wiring deal with the trinary switch and the factory pressure switch. So just dialing that in for this customer. And just a quick view of how it's looking now. Huh? He's a little further along in here. A little bit further. Perfect. Coming apart. Get in here and see what's happening. Can't remember if the yellow Mustang was in any of our original videos when we started. This is a car built elsewhere. We did some assembly and some hybrid interior work for him. We did the rear interior, recovered all the metal. I think we did the package tray, speakers and stereo, and then fit in the seats out of a later model Mustang and console, and then adapted everything to the dash for him with a double din. So like I said, it was in the very beginning. We did carpet as well, and then we did the glass and a whole bunch of stuff as well. So it's back for a little bit more work. I'm not sure what work, but here it is. So yeah, let's go inside. The 56 is almost done. He's just bleeding the brakes now. And then we'll get it out and see how this brake system works. But we have some nice weather right now, so we have the 51 Ford he's gonna get onto and get some test driving and tuning done. So this car can wait. We're not in a massive rush on this one. So that's about where we're at now. And once we're happy and proof of concept is good with this brake system, we're gonna clean up these brake lines and move the proportioning valve down to the frame and clean up the power steering hoses, and we'll go function first and then we'll pretty it up later. So that's the plan with this one. So this is not normal for the hot rod shop, but we do have the big 12K hoist down here. This customer wants to mount some things inside the van. So we had to drop the tank down and get access to the floor to build some plates and mount some stuff. So I think it's a toolbox or something that he's going to be installing himself, but he wanted us to do the work he couldn't kind of do on his own. So yeah, this is the big hoist, good for 12,000 pounds. It has huge height clearances, so sometimes we got to use the hot rod shop for vans or big trucks like mine. So yeah, that's what that's here for. And we'll move on to the 46, see how this front end's coming. Looks like he's getting her together. Yeah, looks a little nicer than the last one. Yeah, cool, looking good. All right, Eleanor had a bent drive shaft. So the drive shaft we had made, I don't know if they just shortened it or if we fully had it made. I'd have to look back at the invoices, but anyway, the small vibration we had wasn't a driveline angle issue, it was a bent shaft. So I believe that's been rectified or is being rectified, so that's what it's in here for. Impala is waiting on a parts order to come in. El Camino is getting tailpipes installed real soon, so that's why it's in the fab shop to get the tailpipes done. And the fair lady is getting the back tail pans fixed up. Good morning. Afternoon.
Yeah.
So yeah, Clint's just cutting some stuff out there and getting the rest of the rust cut out of this thing. So that's about all the time I have for today. I gotta hit the highway, so that's the update. Just gotta turn around and hook up to this big trailer and then get out of here. Last time I hauled this, it was with Kevin's truck. It's kind of neat that you can see it through the sunroof. They had it at the exact height. I just skipped underneath of it. That's amazing. Perfect. Big trailer's all hooked up. Everything feels good. I got the air up to 80 pounds. Just gonna get on the road. I think I want Hastings West, so I need to get over. But we are now in Vancouver. We need to go in a different way than the last show because the cars are going to be displayed, I think, upstairs or in the auditorium or something. So yeah, Kevin was calling me there when I started talking, but so yeah, we need to be on road level for this show. So I'm heading up Hastings and turning right on Howe, which will get to Waterfront Street where we need to be. Load in from street level as the cars will be, I believe, like in the upper area that you can walk around the convention center. So yeah, if you're actually coming to this show to see the show and you want to see the BC DeLorean cars, it's the Back to the Future setup. They'll be here for the entire show. They will be on the upper level, and that's what we're going to set up now. So just getting into the downtown core of older Vancouver here, Gore and Hastings. So yeah, kind of the old school core. Definitely some cool old architecture. Some of these buildings here, like this one on the left, the old Regent Hotel, needs to clean their signs up, I guess. Maybe it's abandoned, I don't know. But somebody should get out and clean the signs, whether it's in service or not. It would look much nicer. So we need to make a right up here on Howe. Always a little tight in these cities. Corner wasn't too bad. He said just after the underground parking I should be able to pull over. So it's the second building, so that's good. I didn't go past it. It's funny when you're on the maps looking down, both the buildings say Convention Center, but this is the one we need to be here on the right. So here we are. Limited space, so gonna get Marty truck out first and then I'll pull up behind them and that'll give us room to unload the other two. This car is so quiet you can't even hear it run. Good. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Okay, now you can go ahead. Of course, my camera ran out of SD card. Got to get used to using this camera again. I've been using GoPros too much. So we just have a few parts to unload. Just about set up here, and just thought I'd take a quick shot of this Porsche Carrera. They're just figuring out the setup, the time machine, the Marty truck, and the Biff car built by Stone Speed Shop. So this car was the wrong color, and we did a color change on it. We took this one with them to Portland a few years ago, where we got to meet Biff, and he loved the car. It's not a common one to be shown, so that was cool. But here it is, all set up. Vancouver Auto Show this weekend. Just getting ready to hit the road, navigate our way out of the city here. This building to the left is 113 years old. Pretty crazy. I've lived an hour from here my whole life, and I've only walked downtown during the Olympics in 2010, so I wasn't able to see all the cool stuff we have for architecture, although it was pretty cool, the Olympics back then. That was a little bit crappy for traffic, just about an hour to get from Hastings to the Portman Bridge, so we finally sped up now and just getting onto the bridge, so probably take about an hour yet to get home. The traffic will probably bottleneck again once we get through Langley. They're doing all the highway construction to widen the highway more. Portman Bridge, crossing the mighty Fraser River. Timing was crappy leaving there right before rush hour, so kind of in the thick of it for traffic, but 6:30 now, so might be the tail end of it, so that's good. Just coming through Abbotsford and thought it was a decent view of Mount Baker, so I thought I'd fire up the camera. From back a ways it looked a little better. I thought it'd be better here, but anyway, just a quick shot of Baker. Now I get this big black truck in the way of it, so that sucks, but it's like a team here. We've got all these black trucks and trailers all bunched up. Yeah, there we go, that's what I thought. Decent shot of Mount Baker. Sometimes you catch it at the right time where the sunset shines on it, but the clouds are blocking it a little bit, but it's still a pretty cool shot of Baker. So, anyway.